Welcome everyone. Today, we'll dive a little into the origin of today's security systems, invented by Marie Van Brittan Brown. So you're probably wondering, how did she come about with this invention? Well, Marie Van Brittan Brown was a nurse and an inventor who was born and lived in Jamaica, Queens, New York. Because her work hours weren't the standard 9 to 5 and the crime rate in her neighborhood being very high, it led Brown to constantly wonder who was on the other side of her door. Inspired by how long it unfortunately took the police to arrive in her neighborhood, Brown invented the first home security system in the year 1966, along with her husband, Albert Brown. In the same year, they jointly applied for a patent, which was then granted in 1969. She and her husband cited other inventors in their patents, such as Edward D. Finney and Thomas J. Reardon. Brown's invention was the first closed-circuit television security system and can now be considered the blueprint of modern home systems used today. Now, you're probably wondering how her invention worked. No worries, I'll tell you. Marie started her invention by creating 3 peepholes in a door to allow access to see tall, average height people, and children. Her next step was setting up a camera that could adjust from peephole to peephole, which allowed people inside the home to look outside and see who was there. Because Marie wanted to find a way to view who was outside the door from any room she or her family were in, she decided a wireless television system would work best. To do this, she used a radio-controlled wireless system that could stream the video to any television in the house. Along with the video system, Marie and her husband created a 2-way microphone system that would allow for communication between the family and the person at the door. Now, Marie knew this would only help them know who was at the door or attempting to enter their home, but it would not help improve the emergency response time. Knowing that the police and security response time was slow, she decided that there must have been a quicker way for them to alert the authorities. Spoiler alert, there was. To achieve this, she invented a system that contacted the police and emergency responders with just one tap of a button. This invention changed the world of home security. Okay, so here's a full breakdown of the functioning of Marie's invention. As you know, Brown's system had a set of 3 peepholes at the opposite side of the door, and a camera attached with the ability to slide up and down to allow the person to see through each of the peepholes. For any expected visitor or welcomed person, the door would be unlocked via remote control. The system invented included a device that enabled a homeowner to use a television set to view the person at the door and use a voice component to enable Brown to speak to the person at the door. If the person had criminal intent and tried to enter the house forcefully, the police would be notified with the push of a button that would send an alarm to the police or security. This was all possible via radio-controlled wireless system. Now, Brown's invention became the foundation for video monitoring, remote-controlled door locks, push-button alarm triggers, 2-way voice communication, and as well as instant messaging to security, providers, and police. Although the system was originally intended for domestic uses, many businesses began to adopt her system because of its effectiveness. Due to the popularity of Brown's device, her invention created a gateway to the more prevalent CCTV surveillance in public areas. Later on, Marie Van Brittan Brown then died at the age of 76 in Jamaica, Queens, New York. And for this invention of a system, she received an award from the National Science Committee, making her officially a part of an elite group of African American inventors and scientists. Brown was quoted in the New York Times saying that with her invention, a woman alone can set off an alarm immediately by pressing a button, or if the system were installed in a doctor's office, It might prevent holdups by drug addicts. Thank you for watching. See you next time. I'm Angeleah. Bye-bye.